Our top story this hour, Palestinian group Islamic Jihad announced a truce around Gaza after fighters traded fire with Israel after the death in Israeli custody of a hunger striker from its ranks. 45-year-old Khader Adnan died nearly 3 months after being detained in West Bank. Israeli defense minister stated anyone who attempts to harm the citizens of the country will be sorry. Mediators from Qatar, Egypt and the UN reportedly intervened to broker a return to calm. Israeli army said that it hit Gaza with tank fire in response to rockets from the Palestinian enclave. Late on Tuesday, the Israeli army said that it was carrying out airstrikes. The raids reportedly targeted several sites, including one belonging to Hamas, the group that controls the territory. The armed wing of Hamas said that it responded to firing surface-to-air missiles. The Palestinian Prime Minister described Khader Adnan's death as a deliberate assassination. The Israeli army said that the news of the 45-year-old Palestinian's death was initially followed by 3 rockets fired by fighters from Gaza. The military reported Israel's retaliatory tank fire was met with a further 22 projectiles launched from Gaza. A joint statement by factions in Gaza, including Hamas and Islamic Jihad, said that the rocket fire was an initial response to Adnan's death. A senior Israeli official described Adnan as a hunger striker who refused medical attention, risking his life. Palestinians launched a general strike in West Bank cities in response to Adnan's death. Israel's national security minister said prison officials had decided to close cells to prevent riots. In the evening, 6 mortar shells were fired towards Israel, falling in Gaza and in the area of the security fence here. Now, for more on the story, we're joined by correspondent Jody Cohen live from Ranana. Jody, thank you so much for joining us. What can you tell us about the rockets and strikes here? What's behind this latest flare-up?
Hi, Han. Yes, so the ceasefire, as you said, has reportedly been mediated by Egypt, Qatar and the United Nations. And this has come about after a total of 104 rockets were fired in the past 24 hours from Gaza into Israel by mostly Islamic Jihad, but with cooperation of Hamas as well, who rules Gaza. Now, they said that the rockets came in response to the death of Khader Adnan. Remember, he's the senior Islamic Jihad figure who died in the Israeli prison following almost 3 months of hunger strike and refusing medical treatment. And he'd served several prison sentences in Israel for activities related to Islamic Jihad. Now, Israel's Iron Dome intercepted most of the 104 rockets, but 3 civilians were injured, including 2 foreign nationals. And the ceasefire also comes after Israel's response to these rockets, and this was to strike 16 Hamas targets. They're holding Hamas responsible because they're in charge of Gaza. Now, the Hamas targets included training camps, a weapons production site, and a naval commando base. As of now, the ceasefire is holding. Whether or not that lasts remains to be seen.
Right. In fact, I was just going to come to this. You mentioned that a ceasefire has been agreed upon, brokered reportedly by Egypt, Qatar and the United Nations. That was my question. Is the ceasefire expected to last given these developments?
That is the question that everyone is wondering about right now. I mean, having said that schools, kindergartens and daycare centres in Israel near the Gaza border would be closed on Wednesday, they have in fact all opened today. Businesses have just opened, which could be interpreted as a sign of confidence in the ceasefire holding. But we know that only last month we saw rockets fired from Gaza into Israeli towns. We also saw retaliatory strikes from Israel on Hamas targets. We also saw then rockets from Iranian-affiliated groups in Lebanon and Syria also getting involved. And last night there had been speculation as to whether or not groups in Lebanon might get involved this time as well. So the ceasefire is likely considered to be a short-term solution, not an ongoing fix. And we know that the Israel Defense Forces spokesperson, Brigadier General Daniel Hagari, has said that all options are on the table if more rockets are fired from Gaza into Israel.
All right, Jody, thank you so much for bringing us the latest on this.
Thank you.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.